So here's my directive. My directive was to teach ending in Revelation, but to do it in reverse order. So that's the way I do this, is I actually start with eternity. There's actually about 270 verses in eternity, and then we work our way back through the great white throne judgment, which is condemnation, and consummation. This is Christ's return and his rule and his reign on earth. Some people would say, well, there's about 7 verses. Well, that's probably about right in the New Testament. There's actually over 1,130 verses of Scripture, of prophecy, for the ruling and the reigning of Christ during his millennial reign. And so we're going to get into all that, and it's going to paint a picture that's very, very different in the world to come after he returns. Very, very exciting that we're going to get into that. And another thing that we have to look at, and we have to keep this in mind, is one thing of studying prophecy is I found that it's a very, very different way of reading the Gospels. Because when you go through the Gospels, you realize that the disciples all had these same prophecies. They knew what the kingdom prophecies were, and they believed Christ was the king, and they believed that he was going to set up the kingdom while he was on earth. And so it is astonishing to think about that what they had in mind was what these prophecies all state, and that's what they were thinking would going to happen when Christ came the first time. Now, it is going to happen the second time, but it's exactly what they expected, even all the way up through the cross and even after he was resurrected. And that's why this anticipation of his return was so great during the first millennium, or actually during the first century, and it has continued for the last 2,000 years because they had an understanding as to what the kingdom meant. As prosperity has grown and as time has gone through stages, we have almost drifted away from this understanding as to what the kingdom means and what things will be like when Jesus Christ actually comes back and rules and reigns.